Sorry, I love that intro. I really do. And every time I hear it, I mean, I already create this state of mind when I wake up in the morning to be optimal. But every time I hear that song on Friday, I'm just going, dan it, dan it, dan it, dan it. It just does a thing for me. This is Success Never Sleeps. I am Brannon Beliso. It is Friday, June 23rd at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast, where we as a collective of people, business owners, martial arts school owners, a lot of different people are watching our show now. But we are small businesses, we are entrepreneurs, and we're trying to scale and monetize our business, plus create a work-life balance and be happy. It's all of it. So when I say success never sleeps, when I'm sleeping, I'm successful because I'm getting optimal sleep. When I'm awake, I'm successful because I'm living my purpose. So when we talk about success never sleeps, people think it's simply the grind, the grind. I work the 80, so I don't have to do 40. Don't mistake in that. Don't mistake in that. So let's begin by thanking my sponsors. Of course, we have none other than Tusa. They do the uniforms for the Taekwondo Olympians. I think that's very prestigious. We just got our new batch of uniforms, our advanced uniforms, and they're made out of the same material that the Olympians wear. So I was very excited about that. And I've had a long relationship with them. Market Muscles, Stephen Reinstein was on the show last Friday. If you didn't get to watch that show, go back and watch that show. Authentic, honest, real, candid. I think Stephen encompasses all those things and why we've had such a long relationship. And Market Muscles continues to be the leader. There are over 700 websites now. And I think that's pretty amazing. And the impact they have on our industry is pretty phenomenal. My studio, for me, simply the best CRM system out there to date. Good people. You know me, I surround myself with good people, and that's important to me. The fact that we can drive our whole business through an app, that's called leveraging technology in a healthy way. Like when I bought my Tesla, it was all done through an app. And for me, that was very different. But I understand the value because when it's transactional, things like that, you don't need to talk to somebody to put in your credit card. You don't need to talk to somebody to look at a class schedule, right? All that empowering information should be there. If I want to update my credit card, I go through the app. So again, if you're not leveraging that technology and you're still using Rolodex cards to take attendance and track people's progress, I'm going to encourage you to make that change. Kids love life skills. I just talked to the artist that has been redoing our coloring sheets, and I'm having her methodically go through all 40 life skills now. We've started that project. Again, improving our product is number one. And the team that we have with Marco and Amy and Letitia and Ben and Chris, I think we are one of the most undiscovered gems in the martial arts industry because we're more about promotion than going out there and running ads and stuff. And we're going to start to do that. But really what it is when people discover the value of life skills and what that means to their culture, and they start doing the homework themselves and seeking out character development, those type of people always find their way to us. And so partnering with us becomes easy. It becomes easy. And I value that a lot. And as we begin to grow, we just got all our new postcard size, and they're beautiful retention postcards. Check them out. It's just going to get better. It's just going to get better. And I think it's like a good wine. I've kind of put it on the back shelf and not put money into it because I really want to make sure that what we're doing is good for the communities that we serve. And as we test these products in our school more and more, and I see the results that people like Focus Martial Arts, Believe Martial Arts, Journey Martial Arts, I can go on and on. Excellent Martial Arts in Switzerland. The results people are getting out of it is really, to me, proof that it is an amazing life skills character development system. And then, of course, LC Accounting, my sister, I love you. I love Letitia. She keeps me in line, keeps my budget straight, and she's always bending my ear when I spend a little more than I should. So thank you to all of them for that. What do we got coming up? We moved the date for It's Time Live Balance to November 11th through 14th. And my dance card has grown. There's kind of 4 elements I think are really important. Of course, on the mat, training, instruction, none better than Dave Kovar. Now, I'll happily toot my own horn and tell you that I'm a master curriculum designer, and being on the mat. But when it comes to Dave Kovar, I got to give credit where credit's due. So we're going to have Dave Kovar coming in to do the training. I'm taking care of the business. I've ran small businesses for 35 years. I understand every detail everything it takes to run a successful small business, as I've done so for 35 years. No business I've ever ran has failed. And that's good news. But I also understand what that takes. We have Aadam, who's going to be on the show in a minute. He's going to do all of our digital media, and then Sam on wealth building. I've worked with Sam for close to 4 years. I looked at my portfolio last year. It increased by 48%. That's crazy. That's crazy numbers. But Sam is an amazing at what he does. Nobody I know wakes up every morning and sits in front of 3 computers and is just just in the market like that. So I have 4 really talented people. That's 4 including me. But what we represent is the training, the business, the wealth, and the digital. And I think we cover all the bases. You need to make the 4-day investment. There's only 20 slots open for that. We're giving a small discount on that right now. If you want just business, come one day on Sunday. You want Dave and me, come Sunday, Saturday, and Sunday. But it's an event you don't want to miss because it's going to set the groundwork, the framework, the mindset, everything you need to make 2024 the best year ever. People say, why are you talking about 2024? We're only in June. No, we're not. Success is something you plan for. Success is something you work towards. So I'm encourage you. Put the link in there for there, Marco. Get signed up. And if you don't see the link, go to brannonbeliso.com, look under events and get signed up now. Bob Poole, always here supporting us. Thank you so much, Bob. Good to see you here. As you're coming aboard, say hello. Tell us where you're tuning in from. We love to know the name of your school, who you are, because we are a collective. If you have a question as we go through all of this today, feel free to post it in the comments, and we will get to it. Cool. And share this. Who's going to share this? Share it at different groups. Share it at your business page. Share it with other martial arts school owners, because I stand for you, the hoi polloi, the common man, the small school owner. And for me, you are my purpose. And that is why I'm here for you. So we're going to be talking about digital media. I got to admit, it's such a convoluted subject because the terrain is changing all the time. But I will say this passionately. I don't know a single martial arts school owner out there that hasn't gone at least through 1 to 3 digital marketing companies. And I scratched my head and I asked myself that question, why? Put it in the comments. Why do you think it is that most of us have worked with at least 1 to 3 digital marketing companies? Go. Put them in the comments. Anybody got any idea why we've, on the average, worked with 1 to 3 digital marketers? And that's my own poll. With all the clients I work with all over the world, they all have been with at least 2 to 3, I would say. Why do you think it is that the average school owner that's in business has gone through 1 to 3 digital marketers? Any idea? And then I'm going to bring Aadam on and we're going to go deep. That's where I'm going to start with Aadam today. Is anybody brave enough to put that comment in there? Come on now. Help me out. And I do know we're showing this, we're at YouTube, we're showing this at StreamYard, and you've got it going at all our Facebook pages. Correct, Marco? Just want to make sure, because I'm not seeing all of our regulars on here yet today. So, Champs Academy, over-promising and under-delivering. Thank you, from Champs Academy. I agree. I want to hold our culture, and one of our brand absolutes is over-promise, over-deliver, right? We over-promise and we over-deliver. I think it's so lame, the old adage of under-promise, over-deliver. But if I'm getting you to buy into this thing, I'm going to lie to you. I'm going to overpromise and I'm going to underdeliver. And that happens again and again and again, not only in our industry, with used car salesmen. I'm going to lump them in there right now with that. I find that a lot. And we see it rampant at social media, right? Only pay us for the students you sign up. I'll get you 90 students in 30 days. And a lot of that is out there. And I'm going to grill Aadam on that today. And we're going to go deep. And then as we get into the conversation, I'll share my experiences working with Aadam at Dojo Lunch as well. Virginia here from Journey Martial Arts. What's up, Virginia? How's it going? So our question right now, why is it that the average martial arts school has gone through 1 to 3 digital marketers in their time so far? Champs Academy is saying overpromise and under-delivering. Brock, most marketing service agencies don't provide customized service for clients. They just plug and play. Each client's content to templates, not enough innovation. Brock, I agree with you 1,000%. If I see one more script where somebody says 14 days for $14, where they're looking down like this, which is the worst angle, you can see their nose hairs and everything. There's no coaching, and you could tell they're reading off a teleprompter. If I see one of those, I'm going to freaking throw up. I'm going to throw up because there is no innovation. There is no customization. It's strictly a numbers game. And they understand the average shelf life of a company, a school working with a digital marketer is about 3 to 6 months. If you're lucky, 3 to 6 months. So they're constantly just trying to get more and more and more and more and more. That's why there's so many ads, at your social media platforms. In a given day, how many different digital marketing ads do you see from somebody out there, right? From somebody out there. Now the consultant is just crazy. Everybody's a consultant. It's a trip, right? And because all that money is spent on getting new clients, acquiring new clients, because they overpromise, they underdeliver, they know you're going to be there 3 to 6 months, so they really don't care. They run you through the paces. They use these templates. They use these, scripts and stuff, and there's no customization. There's no innovation because they know you're going to be gone in 3 to 6 months. Think like any relationship. If you're going to invest in somebody and date them, and they're only going to be there for 3 months, summer love sounds good, but it's over at the end of the summer. So the investment is minimal. It really is on their part. So I want you to be mindful as we dig deeper on this. Cool. Hey, let's bring Aadam in. Let's bring Aadam in because I'm going to take up the whole show and I don't want to do that. Aadam, what's happening, sir?
Not much, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, Aadam, let's start with that question first. Why is it that the average martial arts schooler at this point in their career has gone through 1 to 3 digital marketers?
I think piggybacking off what Champ said, I think overpromising and underdelivering. The there's pros and cons to starting a marketing agency, and one of the pros for a lot of beginners with this business model is it's a low barrier to entry. Like you don't need to purchase a location or invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into a software to start a marketing agency. A lot of people can just get started from watching YouTube videos and create their marketing agency out of thin air. Now, the problem with that is because so many people are getting into it now, these people can just make bogus claims like, oh, you're going to get 90 students in 90 days, or I'm going to double your revenue in the first 30 days. And when they don't back it up, it doesn't matter to them because they're just going to move on to the next client. And I think from the perspective of school owners, when a lot of school owners are just stuck in the same place and they have these big pain points and they see a big claim like that, it it attracts them to it. They think, oh wow, like this marketing agency is going to solve everything, and then they get crushed. And then next, it's on to the next agency. So again, piggybacking off Champs, I really just think it's over promising and under delivering.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. And I think also one of the big things I'm learning, when someone has the same ad for 6, 7 months in a row without any fundamental changes, we know ads get saturated. So I notice a lot of these digital marketing agencies will say once a month, send me new graphics, new photos, and here's a new script to record every month. Why do you think that 30 days is too long? Because I think it's too long.
Because a lot of the time, your ads will fatigue sooner than that. The difference between marketing for a business online where you can target the entire US or all of Canada, et cetera, is you can target millions and millions and millions of people. So you can run the same ad for a long time because it's going to take a while for your entire audience to see that ad. Whereas in our business, we are marketing within a certain radius around our brick and mortar locations. So because of that, our audience is smaller and a lot faster. Like your ads will be seen to like all of your like audience and everything, and because of that, it'll fatigue quick. So because of that, you need an abundance of high quality content to test, so that worst case scenario, if one of your ads fatigue, you're not spending a couple of weeks trying to create a new ad and get your results going again. You can already have an abundance of content ready to test so that your ads never fatigue too much.
I agree with you. And I think with that said, that most martial arts school owners in general, I'd say most businesses, pizza parlor, dry cleaners, they don't understand that this is a relationship. And if you're not giving the digital marketing company good content, good B-roll videos, good scripts, narration, that it's going to be hard for that digital marketing company to create something customized and something that will build that kinship with the community. I don't want you to use a pagoda in Japan to market my school. Everybody knows where our locations are. So if you see the actual one martial arts from the outside, you say, hey, yeah, I've seen that before. I think that breeds instant trust, but that requires us as school owners to be ready, to be disciplined, to produce this content every couple of weeks and do new scripts in order to deal with that fatigue. Because once you have momentum and you got these digital ads rolling and you got to put on the brakes for 2 weeks, right? Or even worse, you put it on hold because you know the ad is fatigue and you have no new content to produce. Once eyes are off you, they go somewhere else really quick, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. Content is king when it comes to ads. And I think one point that you're getting at is that a lot of school owners will purchase, for example, a Facebook ad service with an agency, and they expect that to solve all of their problems. Whereas at the end of the day, it's not the perfect solution. It has to be a collaborative effort in order to get the results you want. You still have to be willing to put in the work to get this content, to have great classes so that the people who sign up actually stay for a long period of time, so that the people who come to try class actually end up signing up. You can't expect a marketing agency to fix everything. So, because of that, when you invest into a marketing agency, you also have to be willing to invest your own time and energy into your business to get the results that you need.
I agree. I agree. And in my own personal experience working with clients all over the world, when I see their digital marketing, I'm like, wow. Even worse when they use stock photos and stock videos and and to me it might as well be deep fake, some freaking avatar or something, because there's no connection to the brand whatsoever. Now people will say that, well, look at a big company, like Nike, right? They use a professional athlete. Yeah, but there's a whole fan base behind somebody like a LeBron James or a Michael Jordan, and you're marrying that into a relationship. We don't have that luxury. We're a small mom and pop business, especially if you're a new school in the community. So to earn that trust, the more authentic and transparent you can be in that process, it's going to serve you. And I think it's really lazy. I would never allow my brand to be somebody's stock photo, or somebody in a generic black uniform with no logo on it or anything, and some, stock video that somebody made. I think it's appalling to do that. And it's extremely lazy. It might be cost effective out of the gate, but I think it breeds distrust. I shared that story with a lot of people when we had that website where they had the Golden Gate Bridge behind us. And I kept arguing, this is above the fold. The Golden Gate Bridge has nothing to do with my business. Well, it tested really well. We're the experts. I say, that's bullshit. Take it down. It makes no sense to me. So when you, as a school owner, are not educated or don't spend the time educating yourself, you just blindly think that a digital marketing company is going to cure all. And I think what Aadam's saying, and you can add to that, you're really saying your frustration as a digital marketer is they expect you to fix everything for them.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And stock photos are like, I understand why a lot of agencies or a lot of school owners use stock photos or generic graphics, because they can take the same stock photo or same generic graphic and they can blast it out to their hundreds of clients to increase their profit margins and make their business a lot easier. But as we know, the most powerful form of marketing is brand, having a strong brand presence. And you're not going to create a strong brand presence by using the same ads as 100 other school owners. I always say this: no one can be you like you can be you. So why don't you tap into that and put yourself out there? Like, talk about your story, talk about what makes your martial arts school unique. Film custom videos and put it out there. Show people what your class environment is, and that will attract the right type of audience. But when you're just trying to blend in and do the same thing as everyone else, you're not going to get the results that you want.
Yeah, and I say that all the time, sir, that if you're singing the same song as Joe Karate down the street, then I, as a consumer, base my buying decision upon who's closer to me and who's cheaper. That's all that comes down to. because there's no, you're all saying focus and discipline. You're all claiming that you're the best and you got great instructors, but the bottom line is, if it's you're singing the same song, how do I make that determination? And you're right, being unique, being a storyteller of your business, I will create that emotional connection because they do have a unique story to tell. But are they willing to tell that? Like leading with purpose is saying here, KYC, know your customer. Yeah, I think that's a big one. Doing a demographic study, understanding who your ideal avatar is. If it's a mom with a 6-year-old kid, where does she eat, sleep, play, shop? How do they behave? I think that's important. And bearing that down right to the region they're in. Like there might be language in New York on the East Coast I would never use and copy in California, right? Absolutely not. There might be some East Coast slang that's going to create an emotional connection with a potential client that would just like die here in California. So I think that's why I'm not into the templates and doing that. I think it's important to customize that and knowing that demographic. So you're right. But more than that, knowing your customer, I think you need to know thyself. I preach that a lot. If the school owner knows who they are and they have that confidence through trial and error and messing up and mistakes, they're willing to tell their story transparently and authentically. And to me, that's endearing. But you live with this I'm the master, I can do no wrong mentality, which is ego based. You're never going to get in there and talk about your fear as a child in the martial arts, how it truly taught you confidence, and those different stories that need to be told. So I think what's unique about what you're trying to cultivate is just that you want people to tell their story, but that's work on their part, right?
Exactly. Exactly. What is your value proposition? How do you differentiate yourself in a sea of competition? Yeah, no, I agree with you. Storytelling has always been one of the greatest forms of marketing, and it gives people a way to really connect with you. Like, let's say you had your story of getting into martial arts was you were bullied as a kid, and then you got into martial arts to overcome that, and then you were able to fight off the bullies or stop dealing with bullies after that. You put that story out there. Imagine how many kids are currently going through bullying and their parents are looking for a solution, and then they hear that story and they're like, wow, this guy went through exactly what my child is going through right now. I should sign my child up for martial arts. Look at his story and what martial arts has done for him. But if you're too, like, if you don't want to put that story out there, then you're eliminating the chance for so many people out there to connect with you and come into your school. I think the other benefit, now that I think of it as well, for creating custom content is nowadays a lot of people complain about low quality leads with like Facebook ads and just like
Mhm.
marketing in general, right? When you In order to attract higher quality leads, it's all about your positioning and the type of content that you're putting out. When you're putting out generic stock photos and graphics, it doesn't give anyone a chance to actually connect with you and your brand and your mission and your business prior to coming in. Whereas when you put out custom video content and people get a chance to connect with who you are and really resonate with you, and you build that relationship, then the chances of them actually coming into class is significantly higher and actually signing up, because now that relationship is built. They look at you as an authority, and it just makes the rest of your marketing work like clockwork.
Well, yeah, and we had Steven Reinstein on the show last week, and he was discussing that my website gets more leads than most websites that he has under Market Muscles, and that's because we're always telling stories, right? And to be able to understand that digital marketing is one piece, but if your Google page isn't up and running, and fully set up, and you're posting and adding photos and getting reviews and doing that stuff, Facebook ads aren't going to cure that. If your trial sucks, if people come to your school and it's not the Disney experience, none of it. If you want to put a bad restaurant out of business, give them great marketing. And so I think that's the piece as well. Um, we want to be extremely mindful of that. The question here is, what are your thoughts on the usage of AI in marketing? I think AI is great for research. If you Google right now, everybody Google martial arts blog under Google, I have the number one non-paid position. How did I do that? I don't have some groovy AI chat GPT writing my articles. I write my articles. I write my blogs. And then once they go into a deep dive, the algorithms find my TED talk, they find a picture of me at Meta, and they know it's not a deep fake because those algorithms could tell if that's a deep fake photo and I'd Photoshop myself into a meeting at Meta. So I think it's all of those things. It's not one thing. Like I say in business, it's not the little things that matter. It's everything that matters. So you got these great Facebook ads with Dojo Launch, right? And then you turn around and got social media and you're smoking a cigar and drinking. That doesn't make any sense. Or you're on some political or religious rant. I think that's very dangerous. Well, it's my personal page. I can say what I want. There is nothing personal in digital in the digital world. All of it is seen. Make no mistake. All of it is seen. So your digital imprint, studying a company like Apple with that most recent, when they released their VR headset, and we had that discussion how they controlled the narrative. They didn't talk about AI, which is kind of a mixed bag, right? Subject right now, unless you're in the tech industry and it's driving tech stocks back up. But Joey Public is really questioning how dangerous AI is. So Apple chose not to talk about that, or nor did they talk about the metaverse. And I think controlling the narrative like that is not manipulative. I'm not saying be a spin doctor, and make it work in your favor. I'm saying have the courage to be bold enough to be authentic, and say, I was beat up in second grade. I was freaking beat. And it inspired me to, I mean, those type of stories, they just feel good and they're real. And people want to be in a real environment, especially where we're screaming everything's fake. Don't believe what you see on the internet. It's all misinformation. It's all fake news. I mean, that's been drilled in our head. So how do you run a Facebook ad that somebody's going to believe in? How do you do that?
Exactly. Yeah, no, I think you have to, like, you can't just use ChatGPT for everything because to your point, like, you wouldn't have the number one martial arts blog if you use ChatGPT because it's just regurgitating information that's already on the internet, right?
Mhm.
So and Google's looking for authentic information that serves their users with a great experience to rank at the top. So if you're just putting out the same thing as everyone else, then they're not going to rank that highly. I do think there's lots of things with AI that can be positive in the near future. Like some things we were talking about was a big problem with not just martial arts schools, but a lot of small businesses in general is like the lead follow-up process. People get all these leads, but they don't follow up with their leads accordingly. And because of that, a lot of them fall down the drain. Like I always say this, but there's studies by MIT and Harvard that state the chances of connecting with a lead called in 5 minutes versus 30 minutes drop by over 100 times. But I doubt like 90% plus of small business owners are calling their leads that quick. But now imagine like, and there's a lot of these tools already out there, but you can use an AI chatbot, or you can start to train like an AI on all these like different data sets and machine learning to just message with your leads for you. And eventually, like we were talking about the other day, Google was talking about an AI assistant years ago that would almost be like a concierge for your businesses. So, with the advance in technology, imagine almost creating a full system where you have an AI bot able to message with all of your leads up until the point they actually come into a class. And then, if needed, you also have like an AI, person or whatnot to actually call the leads and answer any questions over the phone. Obviously,
Mhm.
it's not going to be perfect right now, but I think the cool outlook with that is now it enables people like us, like the business owners or working in the business, to take a step back, and instead of working on the grunt work, we can work on the fun creative stuff. So I think from that perspective, it's really exciting. I think in the near future as well, like we're in the first phase of AI right now, like artificial narrow intelligence, where AI is just trained to do very specific things. We're not at AGI yet, but I think in the near future, like Facebook, Google, a lot of these platforms are going to start to implement AI systems into their advertising so that it cuts out the agencies in the middle, because the agencies are pretty much just a middleman between
Yep. Yep.
Facebook and the small businesses. And eventually, like Facebook, Google, these mega companies are just going to go want to go right to the businesses. And with all of their data sets, like all the pure Facebook ad agencies are doing is just testing out different stuff. They're testing different graphics, photos, copies to see what works best over time. But if an AI can do this and take the data from every single martial arts gym who's ever ran ads and do that at scale, then they can test a lot more efficiently than someone like me or you, and get you much better results. So I think that's something that we should also stay tuned for in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I see that more and more. I think Facebook ads has made a lot of headway with that. I think the challenge with that still is that it's the blind leading the blind. It'll say, do this and you'll get the best results. Do this. It'll even Google will send me things saying, hey, you had 1,000 eyes on you this month at your website. Congratulations. Right. But then you wonder, okay, but all right. So what do I do with that data? Right? How's that going to influence me to tweak an ad? How's that going to inspire me to write a different copy? Right? I understand that. I get it, but I think the creative process, because AI will always need new and fresh data, is still going to fall in the laps of human beings, creative people innovating things. Would AI ever came up with an iPad? I don't know. Right? Would it ever deduce that, let's take a laptop, let's take a cell phone and create a tablet? Would that have ever came out of AI? I don't know. But I do know that the creative process will still be owned by human beings, because that hit song from 40 years ago that's still great today, you could never deep fake that. That could have been written because someone's dad died. That could have been written because someone's heart was broken. AI could never experience it on that level. They can experience a number that is assigned to it for heartbreak. Number 3 is heartbreak. Let's feed it, So I get that. So I agree with you. I think it's going to allow us to be more creative, especially if it's transactional stuff like your schedule, the trial offer, and how much. Those are the 3 leading questions. And if you don't want to answer them because you want to do some smoke and mirrors sales script, get you on the phone and say, well, is this for you or your child? What are you looking for? Right? And you go through that song and dance, that you're going to lose. Give the people what they want. I think the old adage is that they don't know what they want, that's why you're selling them, is BS. There's so much information that the average consumer knows more about my school than I could possibly tell them by the time they come to me. And so that's a beautiful thing. I think it's a better lead within itself. So some of that automation, you're right. We hit everything within 5 minutes. You come in through Margo Muscles, it goes to Facebook Messenger. We already have the chatbot set up, and it answers those 3 questions right away. Right away. I'm not going to hide anything. But again, I share that with a school owner. We are an established business. Most of the Google searches are for one martial arts. Don't post your prices at your website. We can do that. But we're in a much different position. So I think the chat GPT is important, and the automation on that. But like we were discussing, when that chat GPT can know this person's stressed out and needs a human being by the way they're texting back, if it could automatically go into that flow and go, hey, I'm going to turn you on to a human being right now. And then we get an alert going, hey, boom. And that's what I think is unique about what you do, is all of your appointment setters are in-house, correct? You don't farm that stuff out. You don't farm it out. And so share that. Why? Beyond what I'm sharing.
Yeah, so it's very common, not just in our industry, but other industries, for companies who do offer appointment setter services to farm it out to people in the Philippines or Pakistan or other third world countries for $3 to $5 per hour. And the reason why is because these agencies can make a lot more money paying people in third world countries very low prices to do this work. But I I don't like, I 100% know that's not the right way to do things. Like, the way I got into doing this was helping my parents' martial arts school during the pandemic when they lost their business, and I had to find a way to build things back up for them. And eventually, within the last 2 years, grew them to 2 locations, over 450 students. And the reason why I bring that up is because I always think about it from the lens of that perspective. Would I feel comfortable with someone from a third world country being who can barely speak English, who doesn't know anything about martial arts, being a first point of contact for my parents' potential leads? And of course, the answer is no. Like, we want a consistent, high quality experience across the board. So that's why with us, what we do is We vet out our appointment setters. They're all based locally. They're actually working in the office upstairs right now, and they're all martial artists. So that if someone has a question, a specific question about taekwondo or jiu-jitsu or any of this sort of stuff, they can answer it based off of their own experience. And I think that's so important. Like we were just talking about these AI bots and lots of automations. I'm sure a lot of you listening are familiar with like Go High Level and these workflows and lead nurturing automations. And all of that is great. But I'm a big advocate on you still need that human interaction. Like we're not some big mega company. We are small businesses and people do business with people. So as much as it's great to automate a lot of things, it's still important to have a real person be integrated into that process, at least for now. And we find much higher success rates with a real person who is generally just trying to build a connection with the lead prior to coming in. Small story, last December, I was having some clients letting us know like, oh, a lot of people are no showing, like, what can I do about it? And I was like, you know what, I'm going to figure it out myself. And I talked to you about this a lot, Brannon, but one of my biggest idols is Elon Musk. And I love how he, is sleeping on the Twitter, at the Twitter headquarters and working on it, or sleeping at the Tesla factories, and even at the stage he's at, being one of the richest people in the world. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take that same mindset for what I do. Instead of just telling my team members, oh, try this or do this, I'm going to go to the front lines and make those calls myself. So for 2 weeks, I was just doing the calls from morning till night every single day for our clients. And I quickly realized in order to boost the rates of people showing up, it's all about just building the connections with them over the phone. Like really get to know them and genuinely be interested. Why are they looking to try martial arts? And build a connection with them, excite them for that first class. And the quality of people coming in and the rates of them showing up and the sign up rates are going to be significantly higher. So going back to your original question, like the reason why we hire local appointment setters who are martial artists is because it's so important to build those relationships with potential customers prior to even coming into your school. And when you make that extra investment, it'll pay off.
So here's one I got last night. We had somebody come in for a kickboxing trial and she asked for Landon. So how do you feel that? What do you do with that? Because I felt a bit of a disconnect. So I'm not sure what to share with my team. Because a woman walked in, she goes, "Hi, is Landon here?" And we said, "No." And so it was a very awkward moment. So what do you do with that?
So what I usually say to people is, you can say that, oh, like it's our, our concierge or our front desk person, or they like nowadays, a lot of people are working virtually, right? So you can just say it's a team member who's working virtually. They're not actually here located in the office. Um, you know, I get that question, like similar questions to that a lot of the time too. Like some people ask me, oh, what if they ask me a very specific question about how the curriculum is at my particular martial arts school? How are they going to be able to answer that like myself? And the answer is they won't be able to. Like there's only
Yeah.
so many questions they can answer. But at the same time, it's not realistic for you, the business owner, to be on the phones nonstop from morning till night every single day. So the frame I use with that is think of it like you're calling a doctor's office. Like when you're speaking to their front desk person or their concierge person, you're not going to ask them, hey, so I'm dealing with this stuff. Can you get me a prescription? Or what do you think I'm going through? They're just a front desk person. They're going to say, hey, I'll book you an appointment, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll get you in with a doctor who will actually, figure out what's going on and then prescribe you the medication. So it's
Mhm.
the same thing with appointment
Mhm.
setters. Like they're not going to obviously be able to go to the same level as an instructor, but they'll at least be able to give that preliminary information and then book someone in for an appointment.
Yeah, and I think the effectiveness is that between the initial call, finishing their day at work, driving to the school, they still remembered his name. And that's pretty cool.
Exactly.
And that's pretty cool. So, I posted it in Slack. Hey, you guys, if they ask you about Landon, this is who Landon is. So that you're not left with that awkward silence, and which could promote distrust, right? Could absolutely promote distrust. So numbers are numbers, man. I haven't shared too much of this, but last year in May, I spent a lot of time in the Millbury location. We had 22 new students in May, and we haven't done any digital marketing. I've been in and out of a couple people, and I was never happy with them. And we started working together in our wisdom program. You know, I started mentoring Aadam a couple months back in his brand and what they're doing and cultivating what I think is going to be an amazing, not just a company, but an amazing asset to the martial arts industry and beyond. You know, we stand for small businesses, and that's powerful. Last May, we did 22 new students. This May, we did 47. San Francisco was at, I think, 34 last year. They did 19. June already. In Millbrae, we did 30 in 2022. Today, we're at, I think, 35 in Millbrae, and the month's not over. So, you know, we need at least 6 months of data. But if that's any indication, especially my strategy was to do this during the worst months, the summer months, right? Because if you want to see test the muscle and test the, you know, the validity of a product, give them the most stress, right? It's like a rocket. I'm going to put the most stress on that thing to make sure it doesn't kill people when it takes off and explodes. It's the same thing here. It's easy to pick up digital marketing in December for January, right? Fitness, new year, new you, or back to school. It's a no-brainer. But to take on a digital marketing company as we're coming into summer is hard. Is really hard. But so far, I can say the numbers are good. They're really, really good. Um, I think the big thing for us that you will vouch for is working with school owners that get it, that get it. You know, that digital marketing is one piece of the whole puzzle. And if you don't have your other ducks in a row, digital marketing is not going to save you. It's simply not. So, as a visionary beyond a marketing company working in your own parents' martial arts school, you know, what's going to set your digital marketing company apart from what's out there? We know the templates and the scripts and the numbers game they play, and they're over promising and under delivering. But what do you think is really going to set what you want to do apart from anything else out there?
I think that going back to the beginning of our conversation, I think that there are a lot of companies who have become complacent just doing the same thing. So it's the same ad copy with lots of emojis. It's the same offers, 14 days for $14, 21 days for $21, same stock photos, same generic graphics. And if you guys watching this don't believe me, after this call or even right now, go in a browser and look up Facebook ad library, filter location to United States, type in martial arts, and you will see all the martial arts schools in the US running ads. And I guarantee you, majority of the people running ads, it all looks the same. It's the same ad copy, photos, graphics, etc. And for me, like coming into business, I don't want to just do the same thing as everyone else. Like that's not the fun part about owning a business. Like I want to innovate and do something special, do something impactful and like really move this industry forward. Like that's always excited me, like the bigger picture of everything. And because of that, we're always trying to work on new ways to do things that other agencies aren't. So for example, like we customize all of our content. We come up with custom scripts that we're always working on. We have a local content creator who for some of our clients, they'll actually just go out to them and do all the shoots for them so that we have perfect content. And we have other clients where we'll do like creative direction for, like for example, with yourself, Brandon, One Martial Arts, like we'll create scripts, and if we need a script recorded, you'll do it right away for us, and then we'll work on it together. We'll talk about the creative strategy and ideas and refine it over time. So I think like one huge piece is just like the content, coming up with customized content for your martial arts school that sets you apart from everyone else.
Well, I think it builds trust. I mean, just not to cut you off, but really it builds trust. I see the inside of the school. I come to the school. It's exactly what I saw. You're wearing a One Martial Arts uniform. It's exactly what I see when I walk through the door. So that instant familiarity that I originally saw in the Facebook ad I replied to builds that trust. Don't give me some Matrix pagoda, you know, with somebody flying through the air. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know why people would do that other than they're lazy or they, you know, I'm going to call it being lazy. This is your brand. You're trying to earn people's trust. You will never do that with stock photos. I don't care what these digital marketers want to sell you. You will never do that with a script that's regurgitated by every school across the nation. So go ahead, Aadam. Continue.
Exactly. I think another thing too is like it's just the relationships you have with the people you work with. Like I was mentioning earlier, my business was born out of helping my parents' martial arts school during the pandemic during such a rough time, and they trusted in me to, really help them, and I took them to where they are now. And I think with a lot of our clients, like just having those relationships where it's so much more than just a transactional relationship. Like I'll talk to clients for hours on the phone and discuss random things. And even during an example you brought up, going to the summer months, like a lot of martial arts schools will pause their marketing during summer months and they're scared, or maybe they're doing well all year long. And then they have 1 week that's a little bit slow and they're like, oh, things aren't working out. I think I need to pause now. When you have that family relationship with people, like family will stick with you throughout everything, through thick and thin. And all of my most successful clients over time are people who've just stuck to their marketing for a long period of time and who've trusted in us. And all of them have had months that sucked every once in a while, but because they saw the bigger picture and they stuck to it for a long period of time, they've got great results. So I think that's another huge thing as well. I think also one transition that we've made lately is not just branding ourselves, or not just being only Facebook ads or only Google ads agency. If you guys look in the entire space and every other agency out there, it's just like Facebook ad or appointment setter or Google ad services. And these school owners expect that investing in this Facebook ad service is going to fix everything, but it's not going to help your closing rate. It's not going to help your retention. It's not going to help X, Y, and Z. And furthermore, agencies are running businesses just like yourself, and agencies are in business to grow their businesses and make more money over time. But how do they do that? If they want to make more money, they have to sign more clients. Eventually, they get spread thin. Eventually, the quality starts going down. Eventually, everyone is just a number to them, and they don't care if you quit because they know that you're going to be replaced within a couple days. Whereas with us, the new transition we're making is we want to serve our clients to the best of our ability, and we don't want to be limited by just offering a specific a la carte service. So we think of ourselves as almost like a partner in your business, where we're willing to do everything to help you out, whether it's your organic social media sucks and we're helping you there. Maybe your closing rate sucks and we're coming into your school and figuring out how we can patch that. Or maybe your retention sucks and we're getting you on a call with one of our coaches, or Brannon helps you out or something like that. But we think of ourselves as a full service solution, and we'd rather partner up with schools where we can grow with them over time, so that if we want to hit our income goals, the only way we'll do that is by delivering great results and making you guys more money, instead of just thinking that every client is just a number, and trying to grow our business by signing a lot more clients and spreading ourselves thin.
I agree with you because the whole model is built upon getting leads, closing deals, selling things. And when it's a transactional relationship, it has no substance. But if the relationship is more value and you focus on serving, one, we're going to get better leads, right? Two, the businesses can scale and monetize. I can't grow your business if you have no retention in place, if your curriculum sucks, right? If your brand isn't even thought out, if you have no purpose, you have no core values, you have no way of training people. It's crazy because people love martial arts. They open their doors and think, build it and they will come. No, 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 no. There's a lot of it. And if you read E-Myth by Michael Gerber, he discusses that. You're a technician. You love martial arts. No, no, no. Now you're a business owner. You hire, you fire, you got social media, you have digital marketing. You need to work on business plans and budgets and job positions and position agreements and all these different things, is that once we can do that, I believe we know what 8 out of 10 small businesses fail in the first 3 years because fundamentally the infrastructure of a business wasn't even thought out, and they go about it just haphazardly. And because they're a black belt, they refuse to check their ego and say, hey, man, I don't understand this. Can you explain it better? I don't know how to do this. And then go out methodically, get that information. I think that component needs to be there as well, no matter how much you do for them in branding and all the rest. If they're not willing to invest in that type of education, beyond the black belt they have wrapped around their waist, they will fail. I've seen it time and time again, in businesses, not just martial arts industry, but that inability to want to learn to run every aspect of your business well is a huge albatross. It's a huge albatross. And someone said to me the other night, how do you know about digital media? How do you know about film? How do you know about writing copy? Because I knew years ago that was the future. And if we're going to tell our story and position ourselves unique in any industry or community that we serve, we need to understand those pieces, right? And know them well. And if you were a white belt at one point and now you're a black belt, why can't you become a black belt in digital marketing? At least to sit with somebody like you and know, these guys know their shit. I want to hang with them, right? At least that much. Or talk to a lawyer and be able to go, nope, I'm not going to do that because I understand this is a better decision. When you blindly just farm things out, and like you said, they want us to fix everything, that's insane. Why did you go into business to begin with? So you could farm everything out? And that's what I think is really wrong about the business model that sells franchises to non-martial artists with the promise that, you don't have to work here, you can hire somebody to run it. I think that's very ill-fated, very ill-fated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very frustrating just seeing a lot of people just being complacent doing the same thing. And I think another thing that I think about as well is a lot of businesses, like if you have a martial arts school and you struggle with your retention and a lot of people are quitting, don't do marketing right away. Like first figure out how to patch your retention problem. Like if you have a bucket and there's holes in that bucket and you're just pouring more water in the bucket, it's all going to escape over time. Patch those holes first. And I'll have people who come to me and like I'll ask them in-depth questions like, oh, like what's your attrition rate, or like how long do people stay, or how many people are quitting a month. And if I hear people who just have like a really high dropout rates, I'll say, look, I would love to serve you in the future, but I'm afraid right now it's not the right time to do marketing. I think first we need to figure out how you can patch these holes. You will make way more money just keeping your existing students longer
Yep.
than cutting down the cost to acquire a new student. So if there's anything, like even though I run a marketing agency and I would be incentivized to say, oh no, just do marketing, it'll fix everything. That's not the perfect solution. Like what you guys should be focusing on is offering a great quality service, over delivering and keeping your students for longer. And that way it'll be a lot more profitable when you do marketing in the future.
Well, it's a huge mindset shift. I get that all the time with my clients that go, well, how do I get 10 more students? I say, well, a better question is, how do you keep the 10 that you already have? If you keep the 10 that you have and you serve them really, really well, you create those raving fans and they'll go out there and market for you. Because I do believe what's more effective, right? Not to downplay digital marketing, a Facebook ad or a mom standing at the school bus stop talking to another mom about the impact your school is having on her child. I mean, it's a no-brainer. But again, you don't market one way to 70 people, you market 70 ways to 70 people. And I think digital marketing is a component of that. And it would have been something I would even look at. Like we said, Elon Musk does no marketing for Tesla, zero. But at the most recent shareholders meeting, they said, hey, can we start doing some marketing? And he said, sure, why not? Why not? Right. And everybody was going, wow, when did you decide that? And his answer was, right now, in the moment, because why not? We've never done it before. So let's check it out and see what happens. Right. It's never been part of my game, but why not? And so it's honestly, that's partly what inspired me to want to go down this with you. Also, the relationship we have through wisdom, and I like writing scripts with you. Brock sent me one this morning and said, what do you think of this? And I like it, but I want to go in and write it. And I was a film major in college. And I've been a writer from the time I wrote songs and poetries and articles for my success. I love doing this stuff. So it's also a passion project. And I don't believe every school owner has that bandwidth, because that's decades and decades of learning, right? But I believe they should at least fundamentally educate themselves enough to understand this is a good digital marketing company. This is not. right? This is a good lawyer. This is not. This is a good contractor, and this is not. Um, I think everyone's looking for the perfect storm, and that's just not realistic. And I think that also help them weather it if you share that with them so they know when you hit the summer months, give me more B-rolls for after school in the fall. Let's start ramping up. Let's get everything in the can so we can float through the holidays and hit January too, right? There's a time for everything. When a great artist finishes an album and tour, what does he do? He goes into the recording studio and cuts another album, right? So if you look at summer as a slow time, it's not the time to stop digital marketing because, like any great content creator, any influencer, they know I need eyes on me all the time. And the minute I stop producing content, those eyes will go somewhere else. So it's the same thing here with your digital marketing. You constantly need to have eyes on you. And if you're not doing that because, oh, I had one bad month, then I would ask you to get a different education. So,
Exactly.
what do you want to leave everybody with today? I mean, this is going to be an ongoing dialogue, Adam, but what do you want to leave people with today?
I would challenge people to think different. Like, don't just do the same thing that everyone else is doing, but really find who you are as a person, how you want your brand to be represented. Identify what your core values, your beliefs, your brand is, and then tell your story. Like, just go out there and start making content. It's not that hard. Whip out your phone, start recording some videos like that, and just start posting them on the internet. Start thinking of new ideas and putting them out there with your ads. The beautiful thing, like the thing I love about like marketing, especially paid advertising in general, is it's like measured creativity. Like, you can come up with a hypothesis and say, I think this idea is going to work. And then you put it out there and it either does good or it tanks. And then you're like, okay, well, I can take this away from it. Let me make some tweaks and try this.
Yep.
So get in touch with who you are, what your brand, what your story is. Start putting content out there on social media, get feedback, refine, and then feedback loop. Just keep on going. And if you just stay consistent with putting out great quality content, whether it's your organic social media, your blog, your ads, etc., I promise you over time, you'll start to see a boost in your results.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, we're a great example of that just with the martial arts blog. I never set out to be the number one martial. I just make content. But I'm consistent and my message is consistent and it's my message based upon my core values. And I know a lot of people don't have the confidence to do that. And they simply say, we teach focus and discipline and we're a family martial arts center. You're better than that, but you have to be willing to do the work, to do that type of work. And through posting and posting and posting, you'll develop a voice. You'll develop all those different things that you need to stand out above the noise, right? The white noise that's out there. Otherwise, you're right. You can sit there and go to, what is it, Facebook, where you can look at all the martial arts ads and they're all
Facebook ad library.
yeah, Facebook ad library. Go look at it. Your ad might be in there with the 50,000 other ones singing the same song. $14 for 14 days. And if it is, stop it. Your brand is worth more than that. You are worth more than that. The community that you serve is worth more than that. And if you're simply going to do that because somebody says we're the expert and we're going to get you more leads, that's the wrong way to do it. I would never produce content to get views and likes. I would never produce content because I want to sell something. I will produce content to tell a story that's mine, to create an emotional connection with the ideal avatar or demographic that I cater to, right? But I would never go, let me make a slick ad because I want to get more leads. I think that's lame. I just think it is. It's not where the magic happens. Apple would never go, let's make a cheap iPhone, so we can compete with Samsung and everybody else. They make the phone they believe in. And that's the key thing is when we can tell a story that people will believe in, when we can design a Facebook ad that people believe in, they're no longer in the position to be a buyer. They're now in a position to become a raving fan of what you do. And that takes time and that takes work. So, man, I want to thank you for this. And, anytime you want to come on, latest tips, things like that, I think people need to hear this. Because our industry, every industry is saturated with 14 days for $14. So thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. It was a great
Absolutely.
experience.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. All right, man. So there you go. I mean, this is the beginning of what we're discussing, and it's going to be an ongoing dialogue for me because as I head down this rabbit hole, and I'm going to call it a rabbit hole because it's unknown territory, and I'm learning how a digital marketing company behaves, from creating scripts to shooting B-rolls to A/B testing on an ad and seeing if a static print works better than a video, and experimenting. It is not an exact science. It is not an exact science. I don't care what they want to tell you. We've cracked the code, right? I mean, it's not. It is not, because creativity is not an exact science. Why is it that one video out of nowhere will go viral, right? Some crazy guy in his bedroom singing a song all of a sudden is a huge hit. How does that all happen, right? Because you cannot assign a number to people's emotions. You can't. Look at the stock market. As much as they want to say they can predict what's going to happen, all that, it's very emotional, and people are emotional. And so to be able to tell your story in an authentic way, consistently, working with a digital media company that's considerate of that, that gets that, that will not work with you unless you're ready to produce that content on your own, right? And so they can take it and turn it into something substantial to help you earn trust within a 3 to 5 mile radius of the community that you serve. You need to start looking at that. Stop being lazy. Stop simply farming it out because you hope they're going to save your business. Why did you get in business to just simply have somebody save you? No way. No way. So I'm going to challenge everybody on that. As Adam said, and I agree, in the words of Steve Jobs, think different. Think different. And what does that begin? By thinking, period. You are a business owner. You are an entrepreneur. You are not just some white belt standing in line waiting for a black belt teacher to tell you what to do. You got to grow out of that at some point, and where you become, the self-educator. There's tons to read. There's tons out there. But if you don't know who you are to begin with, then, as they say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So I want you to really, really think about it. We're going to keep this dialogue going. So where am I? November 11th through 14th, right here. It's Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from SFO. Dave Cover will handle the training. I take care of the business. Sam On will do wealth building. Adam's coming out to talk about digital media. 4 really strong components of your business. November 11th to 14th, right here, Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from SFO. It is an experience unlike anything out there. Go to brannonbeliso.com, look under events, and get booked today. You can post it there in the comments too as well. I want to thank my sponsors, of course. Toussaint, they provide the uniforms for the Olympians, and they're now in the martial arts karate area, judo, BJJ. They're expanding that market. Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting, all brands I think you should be working with, all brands that are going to help impact what you do and help scale and monetize your business. I want to thank Adam for being here. I hope it gets you thinking and it inspires you to boldly go where you've never gone before. And go look up that Facebook ads library. And if you're one of the billion ads that use 14 Day for $14, knock it off. Knock it off and start today with a sense of humility and gratitude, cultivating a brand that your community doesn't buy into, that your community believes in. I'm Brannon Beliso. Until we talk again, this is Success Never Sleeps. You go out there, live your best life.